Hi, my name is Karla and I'm going to talk about how Socrates and Aristotle are similar and different from each other. Philosophy means love of wisdom. Philosophy was taught later on than it actually started. Before there were no public schools or schools at all. People had to hire private teachers or tutors and it was expensive. After a while, public schools were built and kids were taught medicine and philosophy. Finally, Greek philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle were well known by many people. At the beginning, Socrates was born in 469 BCE in Greece and died in 399 BCE. Socrates was a smart and intelligent person. In the same way, he had different way of thinking and analyzing thoughts. Socrates was sent to trial because of his mind working a deeper way. People did not like that Socrates was changing the beliefs of Greek myths for a more reasonable way of thinking. The people wanted Socrates to not influence the young mind. Socrates didn't accept what people thought of his upper mind was wrong to teach. He did not change his mind while he was in trial. Instead, he stood for his method of teaching to the judges. Also, Socrates developed the Socratic method. This method involves to ask questions and explore why those questions are asked. One of Socrates' most known quotes or saying was, "All I know is that I know nothing." The quote was used by Socrates when he asked questions to people or pupils to make them think deeper into their minds. He will ask a question and say that he doesn't know anything about the question asked, so people wouldn't ask him for an answer, and they have to think hard, deep, intensely for an answer. Even though he was one of the most famous philosophers, Socrates did not write any books. Socrates' way of thinking was passed verbally to his pupils. Socrates influenced philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. Aristotle was born in 384 to 322 BCE. He was characterized in a different way. Aristotle characterized his mind with a more specific and little facts to prove his statement, but Socrates was more in a non-specific and no little facts to prove his point. Aristotle saw in a more intellectual system the art of living than Socrates did. His mind was full of curiosity that he wanted to know how the world works, why those things happen, and find a way in an intellectual way. Also, Aristotle developed in the same way the statement of conclusion and organized thought. He wanted people to understand his point in organized systems and show that every point has a conclusion determining the statement. Aristotle wrote about 400 books in his lifetime. In addition, Aristotle advised Alexander the Great during his empire. Aristotle was a big influence to the people in Greece and different countries. People were influenced by his statement of conclusion and organized thought. His new system was very helpful for countries to have a better government and literature. In summary, Socrates and Aristotle influenced today's thought and way of thinking in a more structural way. Both influenced astronomy, ethics, logic, mythology, politics, theology, and zoology. One important thing that they taught was what is courage. The word courage is done in different ways. In this case, Aristotle thought that courage means the power to speak out your mind, knowing that others won't like it and sometimes won't appreciate or validate the opinion given. To support people's confidence in the way they thought, Socrates and Aristotle wanted people to be confident about their idea and way of thinking. Even though thinking is not going to be the same way of others, both wanted to influence the young mind to have confidence about their ideas. In general, Socrates and Aristotle helped people to start to think a way deeper and have a wiser mind. Also, Socrates influenced the way that some teachers teach today with his method. Both influenced leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Muhammad Gandhi. Even though Socrates and Aristotle thought in different ways, methods, or forms, their message was the same: to help people in society. They influenced by making us think in a deeper, more reasonable way.